free speakers, Toastmasters, born in Toastmasters International. All of them are here. You see the list. And the first speaker is Kirill Alemaskin. Speaker number 1. Kirill Alemaskin. Crazy ideas are life changers. Crazy ideas are life changers. Kirill Alemaskin.
How you doing, Chris? How you doing, Andrei? How you doing, Kirill? My lips are trembling. I'm terrified. All I can say is, what? 10 minutes later, 3 of us were about to jump out of an airplane. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Contest Chair, please raise your hands if you had a chance to do anything crazy such as skydiving. Why did we do this? Why did we leave this perfectly safe ground, went up in the skies and jumped? Let me share with you my story. I was raised by a single mom who took a good effort to bar me from anything crazy by her standards. So by the time I was a grown-up, I was scared of anything. But time flies, and one day I find myself on a different journey, a journey to another continent, where I was surrounded by people just like me, students separated by thousands of miles from their families, homes, friends. And when a bunch of students get together without their moms watching their backs, you know what's going to happen. All hell breaks loose. And I'm not just talking about drinking. Lots of crazy ideas start showing up. And one day, you're not surprised when you hear somebody mentioning, how cool would it be to do skydiving? Ideas like this usually don't last unless there's a person crazy enough to promote it. And Chris, the guy who turned out to be a friend of mine, was that person. So one day he showed up with 2 tickets to a skydiving club. He figured out that he would never jump on his own, so he needed a partner. So he purchased a 2nd ticket to lure someone in. And his plan worked perfectly. So the next day, they're showing off a video of these 2 guys doing a daredevil jump to all of us suckers. And when you see something like this, with your own eyes, a friend of yours did a skydive, you feel jealous. All of us did, and we all wanted to do the same. Can you imagine I, a person who was terribly afraid of heights, whose mom advice was never jump out of a plane, found myself in a skydiving club. With a parachute behind my back, after 8 hours of training, we are at the field, waiting for our first jump. Something caught our attention up in the skies, a small ribbon slowly coming down. We turned our heads to the instructor. That looks like a main chute. Somebody had to deploy the reserve. Deploy the reserve? I was terrified already. I wanted to run away and leave all my gear behind. But it was too late. The plane, old Cessna, which looked more like a toy than a lifting machine, landed and was ready to take us in. It took a few minutes to squeeze 3 guys with their parachutes into its tiny body. And I found myself squeezed behind the pilot's seat, right in between Chris and Andrew, another friend of mine. The plane took off, and all I could hear through the sound of a roaring engine was, "How you doing, Kirill?" How was I doing? I could see the duct tape covering the holes in the plane's body, either to prevent the plane from falling apart or its passengers from falling off too soon. I looked at Andrew's pale face, and can only squeeze one word. Fine. 10 minutes later, we were at the drop-in zone. Andrew went first, then Chris, then it was my turn. Are you ready to jump? I hear the pilot. I couldn't say a word, I could only nod. That's good! Open the door! Reluctantly, I pressed the handle and the door lifted. Air rushed into the plane. I took a deep breath, grabbed both wings with my hands, let my feet go, and found myself hanging 3,300 feet above the ground. The last thing I remember was a smiling face of the pilot. And then I let my hands go. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Contest Chair, 5 minutes later I found myself safe and sound on the ground, as happy as a man could ever be. Many years have passed, but I still cherish that memory. That particular moment has changed my life, and I'll tell you why. I have done many adventures in my life. I stopped calling them crazy. They're adventures. I've done more skydiving. I do rock climbing, ice climbing, skiing in an avalanche country. They're all good adventures. Marrying is one of my adventures. And all these good things might have never happened if I hadn't done this first flight, this first jump. All thanks to a guy who didn't let a crazy idea die. And that taught me a lesson. I can be a life changer. You can be life changers for someone else. Don't let a crazy idea die. Mr. Contest Chair.